The Baltimore Ravens, after getting eliminated by the Buffalo Bills, now have a rematch against them in Week 1 on Sunday Night Football. But can the Ravens get back to the AFC Championship game?
Let's talk football.
Alrighty, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the All Around Sports Podcast, where sports are everything on this channel. I'm your host, Antonio. Today, we are talking about the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, after a hard-breaking season, but to the hands of the Buffalo Bills with the head drop by Mark Andrews, nonetheless.
Cherry? Another cherry?
The Baltimore Ravens now went into the draft with hopes to reassure and revitalize their team, which they did massively by getting Malachi Starks and Mike Green with their first two picks. They're going after a tackle in Emory Jones Jr. from LSU, also along with Teddy Butchman from Cal, also along with Carson Vincent from Alabama A&M, also along with Badel Cohen from Western Michigan, also along with the new kicker Tyler Luke from Arizona, also released their kicker Justin Tucker because of all the situations going on with him. Selected receiver LeJontay Western that I talked about in my top 10 sleeper video. I'll have that posted out shortly. Also along with getting the interior defensive lineman from Virginia Tech. Also along with Robert Longerbane from Rutgers and Garrett Delsinger from LSU. But the question is, with the new revitalized defense and the offensive weapons with two-time MVP Lamar Jackson leading the charge, can the Ravens get back to the AFC Championship game? Now, I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Before we get started, though, if you guys do enjoy this video, please show me a favor. Smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. For now, let's talk about the Ravens. The Ravens, I do believe there's a chance that they can get back there. But are they going to beat themselves again? Because the last few times they've made the playoffs, they found ways to beat themselves. In the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, didn't run the football effectively. That was what hurt them that game. Then you also go into the last years. If Mark Andrews catches that ball, who knows? Maybe they actually get into the conversation. Maybe they actually get up to the AFC title game. Who knows? But when I look at this team, I see a contender. But I still have questions about Lamar. I'm not disrespecting him at all because I love me some Lamar Jackson. I'm looking at the team right now. You've got Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, Mike Green, and Kyle Van Noy on that defense. This defense is so scary. They were one of the best defenses in the playoffs. At one point, they've allowed like 20 or less points going into the playoffs. And Lamar just can't find ways to show up in the big games. If I remember correctly, I think he's like, what, 3-6? If I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm not, don't quote me on that. But when I look at the team, Derrick Henry was the main focal point of that team. Now you bring in DeAndre Hopkins, who is a veteran wide receiver, LeJontay Western, who I believe is going to be a steal. I believe that man could play a wide receiver 3 role. You already got Zay Flowers. This team has potential to get there. But the question is, are they going to continue to beat themselves? They only put up field goals in their loss to the Steelers last year, the only time they lost. They have had struggles against some of the teams. They were, I remember, if I remember correctly, 4-2 against the division. Only losses coming to the Browns and also to the Steelers. I'm looking at the Ravens. Their schedule is somewhat difficult. I'm looking at some of the games. Buffalo's, of course, going to be something. Chiefs are going to be something. Texans, lots of them. And the Texans only were able to post up 2 against the Ravens. But the Ravens, the potential is there. Lamar Jackson is by far one of the most highly skilled quarterbacks that we have seen. And the most dangerous dual threat quarterback we have ever witnessed on the field. This is a guy that was projected to move to the running back position. And look at what he's done. Won 2 MVPs. made an AFC title game. But the ultimate thing that is going to put him over the hump is the Super Bowl, something that Cam Newton could never get. I'm looking at this team. This, I believe, is their best chance to win a Super Bowl. Look at the AFC right now. The Bills are the only threat right now. The Bengals are the only one inside of your division. And then the Chiefs, we don't know what they're going to be after their offensive line struggles. We don't know yet. I'm looking at this opportunity. This is the best opportunity that Lamar has had. You got to take this chance. You got to pursue. And I would not even be surprised if they went and traded for a defensive star halfway through the season. Some guys I would look at that they could wind up trading for: Jeffrey Simmons, maybe even possibly Cam Hayward, maybe some other guys out there. I mean, I'm not certain though. If we look at some of the players that they could trade for, maybe Greg Newsome. He's been out there in the trade talks, primarily with Seattle, which I'm surprised about. When we look at the AFC North, it is the gauntlet division. It is the most hardest, most physical, most difficult division in the NFL. And they had one time they had all four teams finish with over 500 records. And that was a long time ago when three teams made the playoffs. The Ravens. Oh wait, was it the Ravens? Was it the Ravens? Yeah, the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Browns. That was the one time that every team in a single division went over 500. This division, you don't know what to expect. You don't expect much, but it is always competitive between each and every team of the division because they do not like each other, especially when it comes to facing the Steelers. That division rivalry has stood up for years, even going back to Ray Lewis. Even going back to him, and long before that, in the 1998, in the early 2000s. I am looking at the Ravens. The Ravens have a best chance to get to the Super Bowl. I know it, and I know it's the Ravens. The Ravens have not been the best team all in the playoffs. But if you look at it's the opportunity. The Bills are pretty much right now the only ones standing in your way. The right at the moment. I'm not saying the Chiefs are not going to be in that picture because the Chiefs will always find a way to be in that picture. What I'm saying is, right now, it looks like Buffalo could get to the Super Bowl. Looks like they possibly could. But the Ravens, I'm telling you all this right now. If they get to the Super Bowl this year, if they do, I could see them winning it all. Because if you look at the NFC, the only team pretty much that could likely threaten the Ravens is the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles. And looking at that conference only stronger. It's getting more loaded every year. You got the Bucks, you got the Rams, you got the Lions, Packers, Vikings, Seahawks, maybe even. I'm not expecting it though. The Rams, maybe the 49ers, but they're always pretenders when it matters the most. But when I look at this division, at the conference of the NFC, compared to what Lamar's got to go through in the AFC, Lamar's only lost to the NFC teams twice, both of them to NFC East teams, the Giants and the Eagles. That's it. No one else. So if you can get to the Super Bowl, you have a good chance to win the Super Bowl. You do. Because the Ravens, they have something that no other team does. And that is a dual threat quarterback, two-time NFL MVP, Lamar Jackson. This guy has got to show up in his next season because you've got a lot of people already speculating that you could already be in the top 10 greatest quarterback conversation if you do win a Super Bowl. So why not? Go out there and do it. You got a good chance to do it. And remember, the only other time that the Chiefs did not make the Super Bowl was the year after they lost, when they lost to the Bengals. If they meet up at the AFC Championship game, if the Ravens meet up with the Chiefs, I can see the Ravens beating them. Because the Ravens have right now a better defense and offense than Kansas City does right now. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Who do you guys think the Ravens can get back to the AFC Championship game? Let me know in the comments what you guys think down below. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to do me a favor. Smash like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. For now, until next time, I'll see you all in the next one. Ciao for now.